Hello there, people of the universe. My name is MichSciFi, and welcome back to not just another movie review, but we're going back to the Saw franchise. Do you want to play a game for the third time? Which is funny because today, when this video comes out on a Tuesday, we are getting closer and closer and closer to the release of Saw X. But we are getting ahead of ourselves, so let me just refocus and rewind. I do apologise for getting giddy. In today's video, we are reviewing 2006's Saw 3, which was directed by Darren Lynn Bousman. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. If I'm not, then I do apologise. And this film, it's my fifth favourite, so it's in my top 5, and it is really, really brilliant. Before we get to the story, which is something I do want to talk about, something I want to highlight first is some of the traps in this film are some of my favourite in the whole... I know I said trilogy. Saw 3 has got some of my favourite traps. And if I say them, it doesn't actually give spoilers. The rack, the ice thing, I don't know what the name of that trap is, and then the pig vat one, that one's just downright horrible. But the visuals on a lot of these traps, especially the rack, which is referenced in the Saw X trailer, because Saw X is that set between 1 and 2. But not only are the traps and the visuals of the traps brilliant, but the character journeys that Amanda goes on in this film, that John goes on, because I don't want to get too much into spoilers so early in the review, but his cancer journey is definitely... He's running out of time, for lack of a better word, and the way they never at any point try and make you sympathise for the old sick man, because this is a serial killer lunatic. At the same time, I do like in the moments where they humanise him just a little bit, and I do like that. I've said this before, I think. I don't know if I've said it on video, but I know I've said it before in general. My favourite villains, whether it be in horror movies, superhero films, or just any film, is when the bad guy isn't just straight evil, a douche, you hate him. I like when there is a bit of a journey to it, because there are times where you do want to feel sorry for them, like Tom Hiddleston's Loki. But with Tobin Bell's John Kramer, you don't feel sorry for him in the same way, but you definitely do see that he's not just evil and a douche. You do realise he's a human being that just went on a very, very dark path. As the Joker would say, one bad day is enough to rid even the sanest man alive to lunacy. And speaking of lunacy, there is a sequence in the film when he's going through an operation, that's a minor spoiler, and he starts to hallucinate, as you would. He starts to hallucinate to happier days in his life, and it is surreal. It is surreal to see Tobin Bell be used as more than just the creepy disembodied voice or the twist of the first film. I know he said it then, but I don't want to spoil it just in case someone's watching this and they haven't seen the first film, which I presume if you're watching a review for Saw 3, you have seen Saw 1, but still, I like to be extra safe. And then, staying on that same journey of talking about character arcs, the one Amanda goes on in this film is really brilliant, and I love the depth they give her character. There's things about it I want to talk about, but it's going into spoiler territory, especially since some of it gets expanded upon in later films, so I've got to tread lightly here, though, again, I did say, shut up phone, though the chances of you watching this review and not having seen the other films or the other reviews are slim, but like I say, I want to try and be as considerate as I can when talking about spoilers, but I'll just keep it simple by saying the character arc that Amanda goes on, switching her drug addiction to self-harm addiction, is really compelling and really, I don't want to say enjoyable to watch, but it is an interesting journey to experience as a viewer. So with all that in mind, we're now going to jump to spoiler territory. As always, if you want to avoid spoilers, timestamp here, you can go to my wrap-up and my rating. Okay, so spoilers. You know how I was saying about Amanda's journey? It's the whole stuff in later films when Hoffman is introduced and it's revealed the reason Amanda is going batshit isn't just because she's batshit. I will admit there are some moments in the film where I think her character is they go a little into psycho girlfriend territory, and I don't like that. I never got that vibe from their relationship, but I like how they expand on it in later films, that the reason she's going batshit is because Hoffman's threatening her, he's trying to get her out of the way, and yada yada yada. As well as that, this isn't spoilers, but I just looked at the film's poster, or Letterboxd's poster for the film, the shotgun collar. I'm annoyed I didn't reference that when I was talking about traps at the beginning, but the shotgun collar is by far one of my favourite traps. I can't explain why, but it's just how fucking dead, as a matter of fact, the trap is. Does that make sense? I hope it does. Like, there's a lot of traps where if you're lucky you could get out or you could just be maimed, but with a shotgun collar, no, you're fucking dead if that goes off. And I don't know why I love the visual of it. And when it blows her head off or blows her face off, like here, it's just like, wow. The only other thing I can talk about in terms of spoilers is, and it's a big spoiler, so I'll give an extra warning, even though we're already in spoiler territory. John's death. I do like the way it's handled, in the sense of when Jeff kills him, it then kills Amanda, because obviously the shotgun collar is linked to a heart monitor that if John's heart stops, it will kill Lynn. And I don't like Jeff as a character. Lynn is a decent character, to her credit. I do like her. But Jeff, like I said, I didn't find it. I don't know, just very, not one-dimensional, but not very two-dimensional. Does that make sense? I hope it does. If it doesn't, I apologise. And while John's death, and we can talk about this in later films, while John's death ends up backfiring on the franchise, at the same time, I do like the way it's handled, in the sense of, and to be fair, the following films, to start with, they handle John being dead fairly well. It's only, there is actually one film where my review on Letterboxd literally says, this is the film where they realised killing him was a bad idea. But I do like what this sets up for Saw 4, in terms of just because he's dead doesn't mean his work will stop. So with all that in mind, I'm going to give Saw 3 3 stars. I also rated Saw 2 3 stars. The reason, like, if we put them both at 3 stars, Saw 2 is maybe like 3.3, so it's only slightly above Saw 3. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Take care, be kind, be good to one another, and I'll see you soon. Bye!
I'm a living legend. You ain't heard yet, you not get the message. From the moment that I'm stepping in, I get a couple weapons. Yeah, I turn to a beast when I'm repping. I'm a living legend.